Welcome back to another Thursday in our Lifestyle After 5 edition. And today we're going to talk about Beyond the Boys Club. Women are shaping the cigar industry. And of course, I'm your host, Ali Muhammad, along with Victoria and Patrick. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Now, this is a story that I've been personally been talking about for a long time, and a lot of people are paying attention to the trend that's going on. Women are really, I wouldn't say taking over, but they're becoming noticeable in the cigar industry. As they were kind of non existent before, it was kind of taboo to walk in a cigar bar and to see a female or to just see a female smoking, period, which is kind of strange. In the difference between smoking a cigar and a cigarette. You would see women smoking cigarettes, and that would be fashionable, but you didn't see women back in the day smoking cigars.
Mm-mm.
So today we're going to break this trend down. Every so often, the way I look at it, every so often, different stories they hit different, not because they trendy, but because it shifts a power dynamic. Right now, cigars isn't just for the boys in the club anymore. It's about a good pull or a smooth draw, and it's about who's at the table making the cigars, building a legacy and refining the smoke game together. So we're gonna get into this power structure with women. And I was online the other day, and someone was posting about females being in cigar bars and did guys enjoy it. Some guys viewed it as distracting.
Mhm.
Some say they enjoy and they welcome the women. And there also is a trend of non-smokers that are visiting the cigar clubs. Have you
Mhm.
seen that in your being aficionados and visiting different cigar clubs?
Oh
Have you
yeah.
noticed this trend?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you go into a cigar bar now, there's a variety of people. You do have your non-smokers, but one of the main cigar bars that we go to has like an actual bar, so they're drinking while their friends or significant other enjoy a cigar.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, it's just a gathering place. I have no problem with who's there, what you're doing there, as long as you're having fun and
Yeah.
having conversation. That's what it's for.
Well, one of the problems that I see, and I do welcome women into the bar, but specific, and there could be men, but specifically, I see this in women where they'll come with a group of other females, and they're non-smokers, and I'm at the bar and I'm trying to enjoy my cigar, and they're like, it's like I'm choking them or I'm offending them in a cigar bar, and it's like
Mhm.
you're in a cigar bar. I'm not trying to purposely like just blow smoke in your face, but sometimes you get a cigar and smoke goes where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, and it's
mean,
like I don't want to have to be in a corner trying to turn my head this way and that way to keep from offending someone. That is the
mhm.
only problem that I see.
True. And it depends. Like I think if you're going there as a non-smoker, as a female
Mhm.
non-smoker, and you're just going for drinks, I can tell you why female non-smokers go because they're looking for a fine man smoking an expensive cigar, and that's who they want to talk to.
Hmm.
But that's besides the point. They know what they're going there for. So if you feel like you're offending them with your smoke, that's kind of like a you issue. Now, if they're there, like, oh, then they need to just leave
Yeah.
because it's a cigar bar. There's
Yeah.
going to be smoke.
Yeah,
You got to know what
exactly.
you're getting into.
Well, as I spoke, tonight we're gonna look at this though through the lens of a female. Victoria's gonna take us through. And I was shocked when we were doing research that that there are women, that's got some of the best sticks in the game. I never paid attention to that. They either rolled or ran by women, and we got two of our favorite cigars. You know, mine in one of them I smoked, and we'll get through that later. But I never paid attention to women. I thought that they were men owned and just giving female names. But before we spark and get into that drill, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on our website, wherever you at our Substack, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring.
Yep.
So, as we get into this, what have you noticed about the craftsmanship and vibe of some of the cigars made by women? But before you answer that, are there any brands that you know that are specifically made by women?
Yeah, there's a few. Honeybee Cigars is one. Bella Bella Dama.
Belladama cigars. Yeah, that's another one. You also have Sisters and Sticks. I mean, that's more of a couple, but I mean, it's female it's kind of more female side to it. You also have Angry Beavers. That's another female ran cigar industry or cigar business. You know, it's up and coming. Most of these are up and coming, but some of them do have their where they're stationed at. They're blooming, and so they're coming. They're
They're
coming.
growing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
growing.
growing.
So
Now, as I stated before, one of my favorite female cigars that I didn't realize was actually female was Arturo Florentes of
Mm,
Florente. And I
yes.
was reading the story. Cynthia Florente, her and her husband Carlos Florente Sr., who has died, but they took over the leadership of the Arturo Florente Cigars, and under her new stewardship, the company preserved its legacy and maintained its reputation for producing some of the world's most sought after cigars. So that's very impressive.
Yeah, and was it her husband or is she Fuentes' daughter?
she's Fuentes'
She's
daughter.
Fuentes' daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a misread on my part, but no, so that's his daughter, and she's continuing the legacy, which I think is really cool because there's a special bond between fathers and daughters, and
Hmm.
some fathers embrace the fact that they're raising a female, and they want them to be able to stand alongside businessmen and do it just as good. So I like her story in that sense. I love it. But she is probably like the powerhouse right now
Yeah.
in terms of female-owned cigar companies because that is a big brand.
Yes, that
It
is.
is. Like I said, I smoked it and didn't even realize it was female. I
Yeah.
guess that's the chauvinist in me, the unintentional chauvinist of assuming that it was, you know, but male ran by male. Now, have you noticed any difference in quality between the female ran cigars and rolled cigars versus some of the male?
um, I would say maybe the only difference might be flavor profile. Um, Personally, I like sweet. Not all females like sweet. Some females, prefer the really strong sticks. But I also kind of like that you can't really tell a difference between
Exactly.
Yeah.
friendship
Yeah,
or
exactly.
quality because I mean, like you said, you didn't even realize that that was a female-owned, run company, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like you just would never have known. It shouldn't be different because a woman is running it.
Yeah. But mind you, also that there's the rollers are mainly females who are rolling these cigars. So technically, any cigar you actually probably going to smoke has been touched by a woman. So kind of put that out there too. It could be female owned and female rolled. So it's kind of like, oh, double female. I mean, I love it either way. I mean, all cigars are awesome. So it doesn't matter.
Now, females have always been in the cigar industry at some playing some role or another. They're just now getting credit and recognition for it because even back in the day, you would find females in the tobacco field selecting the right leaves and picking the tobacco. So let's give the women the credit that's from in the past. It's always been in the industry, but just now getting their flowers per se.
Definitely. Definitely. They deserve it.
Now, what would you say the industry shift? What do you think is the perception of the new women leaders in the cigar world?
I think it's a lot more accepting now. Everything is so inclusive in this day and age. You're still going to get, like how you said in one of the cigar groups, somebody asked, how do men feel about women being in the cigar bar? And you get mixed reviews. And it's the same for just them being in the industry. There are mixed reviews.
Yeah.
What I personally like about it is that they're in the industry in a position of power, whereas sometimes, or actually in the past, I'm talking like way in the past, a lot of companies would use women more like honeypots. Hey, let's put a really sexy woman out there trying to sell our product to these men. Whereas now, women are catering to women, and we're not looking to see, oh, she's sexy, but like, man, that it's empowering to see a woman in power as
Yeah.
another female.
From doing my research, I still see that there was still some stereotypes. Humidor manager Mackenzie Delaney, as she said, I was going through and research for this topic, says when she's working, she must hold cigars while working to avoid being asked if she smokes. And she notes that women participate in every part of cigar making, but yet they aren't taken seriously.
Mhm.
And I guess with the male counterpart, you would automatically assume that he smokes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And even club owner Lillian Johnson is surprised when she says she owns people are surprised when she says she owns a cigar lounge, reminding the women that the listeners that women are doing all sorts of things nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's just got to be, like with the men, they got to adapt, right? So everything's adaptive. You got to be adaptive in this industry. So those people who are left in the old school, thinking like women aren't nothing. I mean, I'm telling you right now, women can run the world, and we all know that they can do a lot better, meticulous job than we could sometimes, But I'm just saying, like, women are up and coming. I think we should embrace it because it's an art form, right?
It is.
Cigar is an art form. It's a joyous occasion. It's to bring people together, and I don't think anybody should be,
Left out.
yeah,
Yeah.
segregated. Oh, because she's a female, or they have to hold a cigar to say, "Oh, you smoke." I mean, it's kind of cliche. Like you're in a cigar bar, you see female in there. I mean, hey, you know what? Don't treat her any differently than anybody else that you would
Yeah.
meet because
And I didn't always smoke. I didn't always smoke cigars. I loved
And none
this.
of us did.
Yeah, I love the smell, and so I would still go with him to the cigar bar just because I enjoyed the aroma.
And shout out to Robbie Rayner, and it says, "Hell yeah, women can run the world." I do agree, but you got to realize too, also to give the men some grace. This is very new, and
yes,
this is why we got this show to teach people because this show is for beginners to let them know. You don't think when you think of the cigar world and cigar bars, a female don't come to your mind, or female ran cigars. So we got to teach and educate the people of what to expect. And okay, as they say, women now 20% of the smoking population, which is kind of a huge share, almost a quarter, and it's growing
yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
day by day. And not only are women new to the cigar world, I would say minorities
Oh yes,
are
definitely.
new to it as well. So women are not alone into the cigar world in breaking this door down. A lot of minorities now are trying to get into this world and own cigar bars and come in there, and they don't know. I didn't know. That's why, and I'm still learning. You know,
Mhm.
as I sit here with you two week after week, I'm learning things that I didn't know about the cigar world.
I mean, it's a huge world, right? So just everybody got to adapt. Females are going to be there. They're not going anywhere. I mean, so just love them because that's what they're there for. Like they're going to help
it's
us out,
yeah.
and we're going to help them out. I mean,
Ultimately, smoking a cigar is just an inclusive activity,
yeah,
for all minorities, women, people of color. Like it's just everybody jump in.
But
yeah.
Patrick, I want to see what's your take because there's a certain etiquette. So how should we treat females in proper etiquette in cigar bars? What is the proper way to if you're sitting across from a female and let's say you may be attracted to her and you blowing your she's blowing a cigar and you're sitting across from each other. What should you do in that situation?
So I mean, if you're, you can start up a conversation, kind of bring up.
He shouldn't do anything in that
Yes, not me. No,
situation.
Well,
not me. Because I mean,
when you're sitting with Victoria, she's smoking, you're smoking. You take your puff, and if you blow out and you're talking, smoke is going directly in her face.
Mhm.
Should you turn your head when you talk? The blow the smoke to the side, or what should you do in that situation to help some of us fellas out that may want to go on a cigar date?
I mean, you can. Sometimes I think we both find ourselves just like automatically doing it,
yeah,
especially if we're sitting this close to each other.
yeah,
Well, y'all
And
two have a camaraderie together. You're married, so you've been together, so you're used to each other.
yeah.
But when
Mhm,
you just meeting a stranger, or just to say a new smoker,
mhm.
and she's curious about the cigar world,
Hmm.
and you're on a date together. Now, I was once told that you kind of turn maybe to a 45 degree and blow the smoke that way, and that way you don't take complete eye contact off her.
I
because it can be a bit awkward. It can be a bit awkward. You're trying to smoke. You look to out in an engaging conversation, and you constantly turning your head
yeah,
and
no.
doing this, yeah,
Just like a
or you just
you
sitting
know.
there just.
That
Right.
also depends on the cigar lounge. If they have a great enough air circulation, you really
Mhm.
don't have to worry about that because it'll just literally evaporate as soon as you
Yeah.
can. Like me, if we're talking and I have a cigar, I took a puff, I need to come out, I'll like just puff it up in the air or kind of like look down. I mean, it's respect either way. Like it goes both ways. I'm sure if a female does it, they're going to do this. Hopefully, they'll do the same thing. But
But see, we have to have these type of conversations
yeah,
because again, you're used to just being in a bar that is predominantly male. Now,
yeah,
when females coming in there, and that is beginning to be date nights to some people, where they come in there and have a nice conversation over a nice cigar.
hmm
Hmm.
So, do you got? I know you had given us our 5 cigars before that must try in the bonus. Is there any female owned brand that you think everyone should try this month?
So personally, my favorite's the honeybee cigars right now. I mean, they're still kind of up and coming, but
Hmm.
happen to smoke a couple of their cigars, and they're really great profiles. Um, you have your really really strong ones to your lighter Connecticut shade wrappers that'll go good with the coffee in the morning. But I do enjoy their cigars. It's an awesome brand,
Yeah,
and their
it's well
marketing is
crafted.
real good. You know, they're well crafted cigars. So Honeybee Cigars is actually one of the ones I see actually kind of popping, and I think that's going to be the next big thing. But definitely try it before it gets too big and you can't find some of these cigars again.
I want to try that because I've never smoked or even heard of honeybee cigar. Is it a mid to strong body?
So they have some strong bodied cigars. Most are going to be mid to strong, and then there's a couple that they have that are
On the
on
lighter
the
side.
lighter side. So they're maybe got about 10 cigars on their lineup. I don't know for sure, but majority of them are going to be more toward the mid to the mild, whereas a couple are going to be on the far end where the strength and the pepper and that is there. So it's going to be a little bit stronger. It's going to have that punch.
And Robbie said we should treat females no different than we treat males in a cigar lounge.
That's right. Yep.
I agree.
Thank you for that.
Thanks for that.
So, Victoria, since it's about women, what do you think is your ideal cigar ritual? What attracts you to the cigar world?
Um, it's just relaxing. Well, first off, the community is very welcoming. I love that you can just go and socialize with people, and it's a good conversation starter. Like, hey, what are you smoking? It's really good for somebody who's introverted. I'm not introverted, but it's good for somebody who is. Um, but that's kind of what draws me in. And then, like I said, I love the aroma. My dad was a cigarette smoker. On occasion, he would have a cigar, and that's kind of where I was like, oh, I like that. I definitely liked it better than the cigarette
Yeah.
smoke. But yeah, ultimately, it's just the community. It's inviting. It's relaxing. I'm past that age of, hey, let's go clubbing and drinking. I want to sit down and enjoy my
Mhm.
evening, and I think that that's like one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah.
I agree. Definitely one of the reasons why I do it. But but to a let's just say a novice female that's never been to a cigar bar, what would you tell her? What could she do to prepare herself? What should she expect?
Expect smoke.
Yeah. That's the
Definitely.
yeah.
Expect smoke.
That-
Don't get offended if smoke is blowing in your face. Um, it's not on purpose. But aside from that, just expect like a good community. People are going to talk to you. Like people are very talkative in this community,
Yes.
and I know that sometimes females get really standoffish and you know I don't want to say offended. I can't think of the word, but sometimes as a female, you have men coming up to you all the time, and you're just like, ugh, leave me alone.
Blow
Don't be
smoke in your face.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, don't like accept it. You know, not every man's trying to hit on you, girl. I'm just saying, some people just want to have a conversation, and
Just
that's
what you do at a cigar bar. And I'm glad you pointed that out because that's the purpose of a cigar. You come in there to
mhm,
have a nice conversation. Some people
mhm,
just come to relax and they get in a corner. They just want to smoke to themselves. But typically, you're in there to socialize
yeah,
over a cigar.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. So I mean, expect that. Expect to socialize. You know, and so that's I mean that's what we do. Like sometimes he'll get up and he'll go into the humidor, and I'm like, man, he's taking forever. And I look over and he's like talking to different people. You know, that's
That's
just
because he's the aficionado
yeah, very
and
true.
they're
I have
getting the education.
to share him. Yeah, I have to share him with the rest of the bar.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Hmm.
With jealousy, but I mean that's the reason why sticks are rated with time. Like they'll tell you, this is a 1 hour or 2 to 3 hour stick that you're smoking, and so for the 2 to 3 hours that you're smoking, people are having conversations, which
Yes.
actually I would say make the cigar last longer. Some people can go in there and smoke one cigar the whole night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
find that it can be economical. You get one drink, especially if you're smoking a full body cigar. You can get the same effect with one drink, a nice full body cigar smoked over time, than you would if you went to the club and spent, I don't know, 60, 70, $80 on drinks.
Yep,
yep.
exactly. And you wouldn't be all sweaty and nasty and all overstimulated because
It's
you're
crowded,
clubbing.
and yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
now we talked about this in a previous
Hmm.
episode where some cigar lounges now are damn near clubs.
yeah
That is true.
that's true.
That's
But
true.
that's where you kind of got to know, like, if it's your first time going out, all right. If it's gonna be if it's packed, just be ready for that. But we know our kind of our schedule, our cigar bars, our cigar lounges schedule, so we kind of stay away from those days, especially now social media being so big and they'll post it all over. So it's like, hey, we are not gonna go
On that
on
day.
that day. We're not gonna go because it's gonna be way too packed.
Hmm.
We're not going to be able to enjoy anything. Now, don't get me wrong. If we wanted to, we'd go and we'd be open up and we'd be talking with people and drinking and still smoking. But most of the time, we like to go in there and just
Chill.
relax
Hmm.
because this is our time, our ritual. This is what we like to do.
Robbie said put some honeybees aside.
Yeah,
Shout
Maybe.
out to
yeah,
Australia. Let me drop a bomb for Australia. Shout out to Australia. I appreciate the support and the love. Internet. This makes us an international podcast now.
It
yes, it
does. Yes,
does.
it
We're
does.
not only teaching, we're not only educating and putting this information out in the US, we are teaching people around the world cigar
Yes.
etiquette. So this 20% of women into the cigar industry now could soon be 80%. It could switch. What do you think 80% of industry ran by female in the cigar industry would look like if 80% of women ran it versus men?
Profitable. I mean, I'm just, facts right there. Like, nothing against men, but women pay attention to detail. And
Exactly.
sometimes a dollar, a detail can make a difference in a dollar,
Yeah.
basically. So I think if it switched and 80% of the industry was run by women, then we would see cigars, smoking, and lounges and everything on a much larger scale, I feel.
Now,
Maybe more accepted. Yeah.
I was when I an article it came up, and anybody watching it correct me if I'm wrong. Charlotte, which I visited this place, Havana Smoking Reserve. Uh, is it woman owned? As I'm looking in, it's under the leadership of a woman. I did not realize that, and it's
Oh,
very nice.
mhm.
And there are some others that is showing Ash and Barrel Cigar Show still now. And I actually will be in Charlotte this weekend. I will be at Taylor Smoking this
Oh,
weekend. Saturday to be exact. So look for me. If this episode airs before I leave uh, to go to Charlotte, I'll be in Charlotte at Taylor Smoking. And I'll be happy to pass on some of the information and recommendation of my aficionados, the lifestyle aficionados. But in your the cigar lounges that you frequent in the San Antonio area, you said you've noticed a growing trend of women that have been visiting the cigar bars as well. Now we talked about dress and etiquette, but I think we more gave it from a male point of view. We talked about the Stacey Adams and the collared shirts and everything. But what do you see is the idea, in your opinion, female dressing coming into the cigar bar?
It's very, it's like casual. I mean, a lot of women go in there casual. Now, Texas casual is different than anybody else's casual, because Texas casual is you're wearing a nice pair of jeans, some cowboy boots, a cute little top. So I mean, women are still going in there, looking their best. I've seen some women dress up going
Yeah,
in to the
I've seen that.
and it's just about personal preference. Me, I'll go like this sometimes if I'm like, I just want to go smoke. I'm not worried about how I look or anything like that. Date night, I'm gonna get dressed up, so it just depends on the female. But a lot of the times, I just see women in their nice summer dress or shorts or jeans, just keeping it casual.
And check out our pairing episode. I think a lot of new women will find it especially helpful when you go in there and you pair the right drink with the right cigar.
Hmm.
Definitely.
And if you don't know, ask your aficionado, or a lot of times when they sell you a cigar, they will suggest something for you. If you are new to smoking, I suggest you check out Victoria's cigar list, the list of cigars that she gave, where she described, her and Patrick described the cigars from beginning light to sweet to full to mid body. I suggest that you try those 5 cigars out. Try some of these female owned cigars. I definitely will be trying one out and smoking them. But it's important to find what fits your palate.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's another thing. As you get into the cigar lifestyle, the terminology, it's
Hmm.
like a different vocabulary. Maybe we have to teach on that one day. The cigar vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's
If
And the
something.
anybody has
difference,
questions on vocabulary, send them in and we will
Yeah.
answer them.
Yes.
because it was definitely a vocabulary I'm still learning. As you know, I think I mispronounced. No, I mispronounced aficionados when we did
Mm.
one of our first episodes. So knowing what an aficionado is, you don't say I like my palate. It's even like almost like a different language
Mhm.
Yeah.
that everybody speaks when you smoke your cigar.
It
It's
really is. I
so
think
dope.
it's very similar to that of like a chef or cooking, because you're dealing with flavor profiles and, peppers and sweetness and citrus. So it's, just in a cigarette or in a cigar rather.
Wow. Now I've seen females with the little tips on the end of their cigar, and they got cute little sticks and picks, and that they smoke with. I have no. I mean, I've never used any of those, so I can't speak on them, and I don't think I ever will. But Victoria, can you tell the ladies the purpose of those, or where they can get them, or
Yeah, you
is
can
there a
get
difference in smoking a cigar with one of those versus
I
without for the ladies?
I don't use the little pick until I'm at the end of my cigar. And it's only because it starts burning my fingers once you get so far into a cigar. So he got me the little pick, and I was like, oh, I can enjoy the whole cigar
Hmm.
without burning my fingers. And so, I'm delicate like that. But you can get them Amazon, any humidor that sells cigar accessories. But yeah, it's mostly, like I said, when you're at the end of the cigar. I've seen some people's like just put it on there and smoke it like that. Personal preference. I think it's easier at the end
Yeah.
than putting a whole cigar on there.
It is. And so then they also got these little things that you put over the tip, the cap, and they smoke with that. I
Yeah,
would imagine that that would ruin some of the flavor, I would think.
I agree. I mean, that's where a lot of your flavor comes from, is the cap of the cigar. I I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is.
So it's to kind of it's actually there to enhance the draw of the cigar. So if you actually see them, most of them are kind of smaller. They're gonna be your smaller ring gauges, but with
Mhm.
that, you have to cut more of the tip or the cap, so to
Mhm.
make it fit in there. Because if you're gonna smoke a cigar, you're gonna use a punch, whatever it is. But if you're gonna use one of those, you cut the tip or the cap, and that's gonna help enhance that draw, kind of bring it tighter and get some more of the flavors. So don't it's not a bad thing, but it's made for more small cigars. But it's also there to help not burn your fingers, protect their nails, or whatever the individual case is. But it's supposed to help the draw and make sure you don't burn your hands as well. So it's kind of like the same thing as the pick.
I learned something new.
This is what this show is all about. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you with us this for. We also have our Substack now. Check our stuff, Substack out at Lifestyle After 5, Substack.com. Also, don't forget if you check our website out, www.aliafter5ive.com. That's the number 5ive.com, or you can view it below. Any last words of wisdom before we close the show out?
Just support women-owned cigar companies.
Yeah.
Support minority companies. Let's stick together and keep the community growing.
I agree.
Yep, that perfect statement right there.
Well, as always, I enjoy these Thursday conversations with you all. We hope that our listeners are finding this educational and useful, as I certainly doing, and as I keep learning. And let's all keep the smoke up.
Yep,
Yep.
stay smoky.
And we'll catch you next Thursday.
All
Bye,
right,
guys.
see y'all later.